Fix her name. I know.
I'm doing that now.
Look at her. She gets aggressive in this game. She's not like that much in Force Majeure, but let me mute. Oops. What is going? Okay, wait a second now. Why is that Volmar? Okay, weird. Okay, so we're
yes, I am.
No, it's my filter for OBS. I'm trying to see. It's squishing y'all's characters. Let me look at what's happening here. Filter right. Let's put 0. No.
And there's Varus.
Yeah.
Although he's got to change his name too.
Weird. Okay. It's sorry, I'm looking at something here. The properties. State, height, border, radius, padding.
Is Harmony the other Kenku?
Her first character, yes, she is. This character is a Furbolg, but
okay.
Varus, you'll when you get hopped in, if you'll change your nickname to your character's name, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Don't know. That didn't work.
Well, hello to the deadbeats and hello to all the other players.
Hey there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody.
Hello.
Wow, it's going to be just a little. Okay, I got it. I'm not going to worry about it right now. The Discord's off, but we'll figure it later. It wasn't designed. Apparently, this setup for more than 6 players. They're racked and stuff. I'll have to. That's interesting the way it's justifying everybody.
Stack them, rack them, and pack them.
Yeah, it's something. It's kind of what it's doing. Just a little off. So it's stepping on a few names, but oops. Since we're just having a little fun tonight, getting a little in trouble, having to go where you don't want to go. Alrighty, so everybody, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see who's still getting loaded up. Bella. Okay, you're still pulling
Fantasy
up your
Grounds kicked me off, so I'm trying to get back in.
Okay, all right.
Still waiting on some name changes. That's all. You know, if Duff isn't busting balls, I gotta bust balls.
I'm trying to look at the code of how this OBS justifies everybody's Discord avatars since it's dropped in. I wasn't expecting that to happen. I was thinking it was going to be one big long line of their portraits, and it's making 2 rows now. So I've got to play with the code. I'll figure it out. I'll get in there later on and look at all the CSS code.
I mean, how many games do you plan on running with 11 people?
No, that's very much so. Yeah, no, that's why I'm not sweating it too bad tonight. Oh, my green screen's not up. Ah! Can't see behind the curtain.
Green screen? So we're having a green screen now?
I've had a green screen for a while. So you people can't see the
Apparently,
real.
I'm gonna have to get Twitch up now so I can see the green screen.
Well, now you can't.
It's not.
Now it's my background.
Dang it! Switched too fast.
Can't see behind.
I guess the names are changed in
And they're getting there.
Twitch, and it
Okay.
Didn't do it for my
Probably
Discord.
his wife got tired of not being able to walk behind him.
No, she just doesn't want to get in front of the camera at all. If I make her get in front of the camera, she turns red. She hates it.
She wants to crawl behind the screen and scare the crap out of him.
She did try to do that. Yep, she did try to do that, and she wasn't very stealthy. She rolled a 1. She failed. She was busted. All right, so I think hello, bad, welcome everybody. Those who are, hello, little kitties. Oh, Chris, are you? I think you're listening on that. It has to be approved Wizards of the Coast books. They're books only. Just so you know. All right, so we have a lot of players tonight. Now, a few of them have already had the pleasure of getting a first real session in, just based on timing. So they may show that they're level 2. They've leveled up. But in tonight's session, I doubt mostly the session zeros are to allow y'all to have a little backstory. We're going to have fun with the characters. You're going to get into Waterdeep and do some stuff, and go out from there, and then make your way into the portal and onto this new world. Some of the session zeros will be expecting that they'll be a little bit more drawn out, because people will need to, some new players will not have the experience like most every one of you do, either being a part of my games, or I think we've got Glicks. How do you say that? Glicksnicks? Glicksnicks. Interesting. Okay, so who's part of the Dungeon Dwellers crew, and most of the players, the rest of them are involved with some of my Praetor's Rejects games. So that means we would have a combat session and have to kind of run stuff out, and I'd rather not bore y'all with that. And I think all of y'all.
Person combat sessions get long.
Yeah, exactly. We'd have one round and barely, and if the monster was last, it would never make it to swing. It would just get pummeled by the 8 of you. And so that would happen here. And since y'all are all familiar enough, I won't, we're good there. Aside from that, I think everybody should be comfortable enough, and we will take this time just to make sure if there's any questions. I've got 4 new players. Well, actually, I'm sorry, Ruckus or Linvin has played his game already, but the other 3 are they're all part of the Thursday night group, so we want to welcome them. They've made the transition, or are coming over to play a little bit here too, while they're still doing the Thursday night sessions. But we want to make sure, and they have listened in, or we've done some of the recap as far as the different platforms that we are using for Portal's Reach. I think that the only one that really hasn't heard Kriv, I use y'all's characters' names just to make sure you understand. That's why I'm doing that. I don't think we've really explained. Did you get a chance, or have you gone through, or have I talked to you much about the different resources that you have to be cognizant of with this game?
No.
Okay. I couldn't remember if you were a part of that group or a session or not. So, we'll do that. If you will, we'll have a little fun. We'll get the game started. We'll play some. We'll get the RP going and do all that, and then we'll spend a few minutes. I don't think this game will go that long tonight. A couple hours. Have them do all that, get everybody through, and then if we'll hang out after the session's over with, and we will go over again the different platforms, the things. There are a few pieces still missing. We're still a work in progress. We've used that quite a lot now for the last few months, but it's true. And since there's only a few of us really kind of managing all the back end for the games, and make sure everybody's comfortable with what each platform's for, how to utilize it properly, how to monitor it properly, and make sure you're all in the know and connected, so you can be informed and know what's happening and be involved in the games, or even the offline games too, the RP that's taking place in the RP room on Discord, things like that. With that being said, so we will start our lovely little game of Portal's Reach by, as always, we will do our character introductions. We'd like for you to introduce yourself, your character, a little bit about your character, If you've got any tasty little tidbits of your background that you want to divulge, you please do so. If you want to keep that to yourself, that should be played out during the games, even this one or from moving forward, please feel free to hold on to that, or you can use it in your, if you haven't, I think everybody should have their character introductions in the community server. If you have not, make sure that is there. But then you can then proceed to participate in the RP room that's going on in Discord, and then use those, your background and stuff like that as you play the true games every week. So we'll start with Linvin. You're up first. Tell us about yourself.
My name is Linvin Loreteller. I am a halfling bard. I'm kind of on the run right now because I serenaded a noble out of their vows, and now I have a price on my head. And it's a mistake I'll probably repeat.
That is what we're looking for. Nicely done. Yes. And I would reiterate that if you haven't really worked up on your backstories, you will, as always, when you're in the rejects realm, you have something that you're running from, that you've done, bad something, and I'm not gonna say it's always has to be horribly bad, but we're all flawed in multiple ways, and some of us have, all of us I think have a deeper flaw down in there, and we're looking for the characters to have that, and then looking for through the gaming is that you're trying to redeem yourself or be able to play some of that. I've always been advocate that I'm not looking for the knight in shining armor that does no wrong and can slay everything. We're looking for mistakes. That's a little bit more truer nature. And so I'm definitely going to be asking or looking for, and other DMs are, for the flaws and the things that get you in trouble a little bit more than they should. With that being said, we'll go next to Derlin.
Hello, Derlin Sumar, a half-elven druid, neutral good. I'm working on his backstory, but he kind of lives in between his half-elven and human parents, and he's kind of caught in the middle, of a battle between those two, and he spent most of his life growing up in the woods with his mother, and he's kind of trying to find out where he belongs in the world.
Okay. All right. Kriv.
Yes, this is Griff, the Dragonborn Barbarian, good ancestry. I was exiled from my clan 7 years ago due to my temper and some bad decisions I made, and I have been wandering since, trying to redeem myself.
Redeem himself. All right. Volmar.
Oh, let's see. Volmar, Wood Elf Monk, pretty much went into seclusion to hide from somebody who was hunting him down. Not sure why he was being hunted down, but he was. And his seclusion didn't help him as much as he thought it would.
Uxuna, how do you say that? Uxuna?
It's Uxuna.
Uxuna. Okay.
Hi, I am Uxuna Sortun. I am a female fire genasi wizard, and I used to work for a magistrate, and decided that I didn't like being used. I didn't like seeing other people being used. So I started stealing from them and giving it back to those that I saw in need. And now I'm on the run for that, but my desire is to ultimately become the greatest thief that ever lived.
All right.
And I don't like being insulted either.
Okay.
I might blow up.
Glixnix.
I am Glixnix Sinter. I was just a regular goblin until I was nearly struck with red lightning. Since then, I have found that fire comes from me, and, well, I appreciate its control of everything. I've tried to show other people how powerful fire is. They disagree. I light them on fire. I get kicked out. This is repeated a few times. I've traveled quite far, actually. a couple villages, some fellow goblins. I've lost track. But at least now the people that see them know that fire is more powerful.
All right. Does that fire
I
come
like
out?
him.
Does that fire come out of a particular area, or is it just show up? Just wasn't sure if it was flatulence.
No, it is not the flatulence.
We already have one of those on our other show, so, so it'll be refreshing. Okay. El Bella.
Hi, I'm El Bella, a very old, furbolg cleric. I got separated from my tribe a while back. There was this huge, terrible storm, like hurricanes, earthquakes, and such. So I'm just kind of wandered around trying to find them, and during my wanderings, I developed a bit of a drinking problem. But it's all good. I'll find my family one day.
All right. And our last character, Cackle.
Yeah, I am Cackle. I'm a Kenku warlock. I used to be a mediocre thief. And once I realized I'd never be able to steal enough to pay for someone to give me the ability to fly, I made a bargain with the being that used to live rent-free in my head, which is where I get my name from, mimicking the laughter that she would do. And so that's my one wish, is to fly. And she sent me on some tasks and promises that one day I will.
Fly. Gotcha. All right. So that is our characters for the evening. And we're going to have just a wide range involved now in the game. So when we get done tonight, I'll be uploading the files, the portraits. We've got a spreadsheet that I'll be working on over the weekend. And then I'm going to try to see if there's a way that through WordPress, I'm sure there is. I just got to develop it, that we'll be able to list. It's kind of like what Zeb, I'm not sure if it's all out there. If someone, I think it's in the community server, there was a posting for it that Zeb, he has created a spreadsheet on his Google Drive that he shared out. That was basically a list of everybody that's playing and their characters, because it will get kind of confusing. There's a few people here that are running 2, 3, and now, yeah, exactly. So we're gonna, and I'm gonna make a note of that. So that's good for the moment, but we're going to put a curtail on that from starting now. That you can have 2 is the max that you can run for the deal, because once you kept it. Okay, Zeb is in channel, so thank you. Well, Zeb, we've got a whole bunch more here, and we'll take that, and we were going to have our spreadsheet, and I'm going to try to link that with some coding to be able to put on the Portals Reach website when that gets up and running, so that people can kind of see the list of all the different PCs that are involved. But nicely done. So he's keeping up to date and we're not. But all those are involved, so you can kind of know the wide range of characters that we have. With that being said, so let's get the adventure started here. And as always, with any adventure that involves Praetor, you have no idea what, your life has taken definitely a turn into the unknown. There is... some of you definitely are fleeing, others are running, usually from either something, like I said, bad that you've done or that has happened, or even if it's not even your fault, but you're the brunt of it. You have made your way from your homelands, your friends, your family, to get, move out from there and find a new way of life, some sort of fashion, a redemption for that which is, causing you this internal pain. Some of it, however, also is unknown to you, that there's, you've questioned things, a little bit of subconscious has been involved, and something in the back of your conscience is involved, and you've had a few visions in some of your sleeps of a portal that has shown itself in various forms. It's a little bit different for each of you. And that you don't know, we're just kind of, that's a little bit of a giveaway for you, but the portal has something has shown itself to you in dreams. You have been drawn, for whatever reason, you have found yourself slowly making your way toward the lovely city of Waterdeep, with the name Praetorius has been, some reason, some why, that comes to mind. You have flipped it around in your head. It's not a name that you are familiar with or have ever heard. But that being said, in your dreams, there is a portal. There is this name of some shadowy figure that you've not been able to catch sight of in your dream, that flickers in and out of your subconscious when you are asleep, or even when you catch yourself in a daydream, something like that, when you've kind of disconnected from the current present self, wherever you're at. And as you have traveled the road, you have made your way ever so inching slowly toward Waterdeep. Now, the group of you have, unless you want to come up, and I'm looking for some RP here, if there's any particular thought of why maybe some of you might be traveling together, or if there's a way that y'all have met up on the road, unknowing to each other, that you have just befriended each other and have just kind of traveled along without question, that is definitely a doable thing. If not, you will all continue onwards on your journey. I'm hinting at, I wonder if we were just in there chatting, if the fire genasi and the goblin for some reason might have been pulled together for some reason. That would have been.
Well, Criff seems to be wanting to sniff me, and I'm side-eyeing why he's sniffing me, but.
I imagine at some point Blixnix saw Uxuna and just kind of attached to her, just started following, just walking along, just talking to her, just like it was just the most natural thing.
Easily could happen.
Fire.
Yep, that's right.
It's the hair. My hair is always on fire and just like flames.
You notice that if you'd ever seen any goblins before, he's actually small for a goblin. Like a few inches shorter and a little bit lighter than most other goblins.
Oh, well, I'm quite tall. I'm almost 6 feet, so maybe he was attracted to the height and the flame, and I don't know.
Yeah, he's not even half your height.
Oh, can I have him as a pet?
Oh my.
As he's talking, whenever he gets excited, sparks kind of like, whenever like a log crackles in a fire and like there's like kind of embers and sparks just kind of go up and kind of out and around it, just kind of like out from the tips of his fingers, and he gets excited and starts gesturing around and just kind of sparks all over him.
Oh, I like sparkly things. Very much attracted to sparkly things.
We have lots of sparkly things.
Oh, really?
I knew I was waiting for that to catch up. Well, I'm just waiting, and I'm not foreshadowing a little bit here, is what happens when Cackle gets through, and now we have two Kinkus going at it. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Copying each other back and forth.
Yeah. But anyway, so yes, unless there's, y'all can come up with it as we're sitting here, but you begin to make your way, like I said, into the town of Waterdeep. All right. And what you know is that for some reason, yes, you were called here. And for whatever that reason that is, you're unsure yet. But it is definitely the spot where you need to be. We can put, well, let's see. I'm going to put y'all on. Now we're just, holy moly. And this is not to scale. It's just to put y'all on the map. So don't worry about that.
Glixnix wishes it was to scale.
Yeah.
I sent you a message, Duff.
What's that? All right. And we can make y'all a little bit bigger so they can show up on the map here. Holy moly, what the heck is going on? And Crix, we'll bring you in, bring you in on the south gate. And who have we got left? Albella. All right, you're traveling in here. And Cackle, you're going to come in. Actually,
Cackle would have been here.
then fine. You're in the docks areas. How about that?
Yeah. This is my normal area.
Okay. So, it's a little bit of a mystery. I'm being a little vague here, but the question, that you are coming to Waterdeep. And with that being said, and knowing that you are, a little wet behind the ears, you have this mystery of this black cloud that is either following you or, you believe is, and, there's some importance to you, but, what's driving you. But as you reach this grand city, what would you do? What would be going on? What would you, want to accomplish when you walked into this great place?
I would want to drink my troubles away.
Well, you go find that would push you possibly toward the dock ward, a little bit more rowdier part of town. So you might be able to make your way over to the dock area. And what about our fire goobers? What about the two of you? What would y'all want to accomplish?
Well, as a criminal, I'd be looking for something to steal, so I'd be looking for, something to steal and give to the poor. So I'd be looking for the area with the richest people to steal from, and then, trying to take it to those that in need. But, seeing if there's anything I might set on fire or two at the same time.
Well, that's going to put you in the castle ward area. That's going to you'll find your way toward that a little bit more, maybe the north, but I think the castle area is a little bit more the richer part. That's the uppity part of town. So y'all will head that way. What about Linvin and Derlin? What about you two?
I'd be trying to secure passage out of the city before the nobleman's bounty hunters catch up.
So you'd be making your way toward the dock area, huh? To try to figure out how to get out, even though you've been drawn to this city. Okay. What about you, Derlin?
Well, Derlin, he's never seen this many people or a place this big. This kind of freaks him out. He would enter reluctantly and only if he had a cause or somewhere to go. He doesn't like to be around this crowd. He'd be really nervous and probably looking for the least crowded area, making his, maybe finding a guard or something, asking for the name that we're supposed to look for that I did not write down.
Praetorius,
yes.
Praetorius is that's right. How could you have not known? But you do know, and that is the thing that drives you. Is this name has flickered in the back of your head, and it rolls off your tongue. And the guards, when you ask that question, this area you get a blank stare from them, as though how in the hell would they know someone named like that? And they turn to look back at the city that sprawls behind them, and they shake their head and they just motion you to keep on walking through, to get out of the way of all the other people and the caravans and stuff that is coming through the main entrance. That puts us down to Kriv and Volmar. What about you two?
Well, I'm currently just standing on the door and thinking if I should enter or not. I'm hesitant to enter a city right now. And I'm whispering under my breath the name Pretorius. Like, I don't know what the heck am I doing here.
You don't know. That's true. And Volmar, what about you?
Let's see. I would imagine that he would probably tend to avoid people, being a hermit.
Okay.
So he would probably go find a place where he could sit and meditate alone. Ish.
Okay. That could be on the outskirts of town or back toward the outskirts of the dock areas, maybe. Maybe off.
Yeah, let's head to the dock area then.
Okay. And Cackle. You find yourself in the city apparently already, so what are you doing?
Cackle likes to spend his time when he's not doing what he needs to do for his patron in the bar, listening and picking up tales or expressions, anything that he can use later on. He's just stowing it away.
Okay. All right. Well, I believe that Linvin, you said you were trying to book passage, so that's going to find yourself mulling through or headed toward the dock areas. We have a couple that are hesitant to make their way deeper into the city, that being Durlin and Kriv, so to speak. Volmar, I guess you're hesitant, but you were at least trying to find a spot that gave you a little, I guess, open, but open, quiet. Well, the dock areas may not be quiet. I don't know if you're going to find really anywhere in this city that's going to be quiet, but that seems to be where you were drawn to. Kriv, so you began to say that you were muttering this word to yourself, but you have not entered.
Nope, I have not entered. I'm still deciding. I'm unsure of my purpose here. I just know that I have this name in my head in this city.
It's going to make it difficult on me. I can tell already. We know how to handle that. All right. So I'm going to move Linvin. You're actually going to make your way on down into the dock area. And Durlin, you're hanging around out, you said, basically at the entrance, still unsure what you're doing.
Yeah, still unsure.
Okay.
I would have entered the city, just, if I have this name in my head and the city, then maybe I would see something else that would spark in me, but I'd be really careful around people, avoiding any crowds, and just be really cautious about anything I'm doing. I'd prefer to be outside if I got to, nightfall.
Well, while that's all taking place, we have a thief that is lurking her way around in the uppity parts of the castle ward. And you are looking for your next marker, I guess, to possibly lift off, I guess, maybe a purse of coins or a trinket of some sort to...
Purse of coins would be ideally what I would be looking for, because in a city like this, I imagine that there would be a lot more use for coins for the poor and less ability for them to track and identify where the coins came from. So I look over at Glenix, where I imagine that we're probably hiding in an alleyway looking out at the crowd. And I have Glenix near with me, and I look at him and I go, "Hey, watch what I can do." And I cast Firebolt at the nearest stand to have it catch on fire. and distract people. And as I do that, I don't know Glenix is if he's entranced by that or not. But as I do it, I use Glixnix. I don't know why I keep saying that right. I'm sorry, Glixnix.
I'd say, yep.
Glixnix. I don't know if he's entranced by that or not, but as I'm hoping the crowd is distracted, I look out and I see what appears to be a very rich man who has a huge bag of what appears to be coins attached to his hip, and I try and sneak up behind him and try and use sleight of hand to take it off of him.
Would you make me a sleight of hand roll in the tower, please? You lift the bag from the man. You get a little, but it was a little deceptive. It was a bag. It had some coins and definitely some, but it looks like it had a couple of some other. Well, they thought they were gems, but they're definitely some onyx or some amethyst, quartz, stuff like that in there. Lower grade gems and all that. But you do lift it, and it has some silver pieces and gold pieces in there. You actually have successfully sleight of handed your first marker. Glixnix, are you in on this? What happens when she erupts the stand or her diversion and all that? What does that do to you? Did we lose Glixnix? Oh, you're there. Okay.
Seeing her light on fire, his eyes light up, and we're making fire? I can do that. And he takes his staff, leans it kind of against the wall, rubs his hands together, reaches out in front of him, brings his hands up, and the fire grows brighter and larger as he casts control flames to increase the size of the fire.
We're going to burn this town down.
Nice start.
Oh, boy. Okay.
And Oksana's apparently stealing old man's family jewels.
Yeah, he said, yeah. So, would you give me a, let's do you're basically just trying to enhance what she did. Give me a performance check, would you?
In the tower?
No, you can roll that one out. You can roll that one. You're trying. You're waving your hands and yeah. Okay, boom, and the fire grows and it does get a little out of hand all of a sudden. It kind of spreads over and kind of erupts, and everybody starts to scream out and all that. When that happens, the gentleman that had the bag pilfered from him steps back, and he exclaims that he actually begins to notice then that his bag is missing, and he yells out.
I quickly reach over to him and say, I'm sorry, sir. I saw when the fire erupted that you dropped this bag. I just wanted to make sure that you got it back.
Give me
here. Make sure you don't.
You can give me a deception roll, please.
In the tower or out in the open?
You can roll it up front. You can roll this one out there. And he takes it from you and scowls quickly at you and says, "That is mine. Get your hands off of it." And grabs it from you and turns around, and he, you see him look in his bag and all that to make sure that you hadn't pilfered anything. And he stops and he turns around. "It's missing some of my great jewels. Where are they?" And he points and he goes, "Guards! Guards! She's stolen my jewels." And he's yelling and pointing at you.
I cast poison spray in his face. Extend my hand out and I cast poison spray in his face, and I yell at Glixnix, run! And we run down an alleyway before they can catch us.
Leave.
Unfortunately, you are not successful in your escape. and the guards were there around in the castle ward because they guard a lot of the precious people and their cargo and all the stuff that's in here. And the two of you find yourself in shackles now in the great city of Waterdeep, and you're being escorted to the pokey. You're in trouble, even though you really didn't do anything because he was lying, as you know, but you got in trouble. And they kicked unfortunately, Glixnicks, they're not really, kind to you. They frown upon some goblins, especially ones that are short of you and have this issue. It seems fire kind of shoots out of you every now and then, and they catch the both of you. It's bad news for you. And this seems to be, a recurring theme for all of you, but for you two, unfortunately, you got caught and you're going to be escorted to the jail, and you're going to spend some time in the pokey for a moment. So while that's happening, we visit our Furbolg and Kinku, who have found themselves in the local bar establishment, one drinking her life away, looking deep into the bottle, and the Kinku just studying people.
The only way to drink.
And Linvin, you know what, as you made your way down through there, wouldn't you think that maybe, this walking and all this time that your throat might just be a little parched and you might just want to, grab yourself a little drink before you try to go find yourself passage out of this crazy town?
Well, actually, I would be trying to line up some work just in case I'm held over here. So I'd be using, by popular demand, to go into a tavern, trying to get the best rates for my my services.
Well, you just fortuitously walked into the same tavern that Albella and Cackle are in. All right? And the barkeep points over to a small little area by, always typical, little stool by the lit fireplace, and motions for you to ply your trade there. And if it's well enough, he will definitely, he doesn't have much here, but it's enough to throw you some hot food in your belly and a drink or two, and possibly a copper, or, depends on how well the crowd is stirred by your performance before them. Do you take them up on that offer?
Yes.
Okay. So you can roll me a performance check for your first song of the evening. How about that, folks? And where the hell is my Sirenscape? Where the hell is it? Oh, it's over here.
Oh, no.
I gotta warm up.
Ooh.
I broke a string on my lute, guys. I'm sorry.
Keep playing.
Ooh. So
After I broke the string, I'd pull out my panpipes.
Yeah, you start your song and it twang, and the string breaks, and you but I think maybe also that the drink you downed a drink or two possibly, and it was a little bit stronger maybe on the empty belly that you drank upon, and
I'm gonna toss him a coin.
he plays this song.
It's so beautiful.
I'd like to stand up and I'll start laughing, and then I'll point at him, and then I'll mimic the sound of the string breaking.
It's so beautiful.
All right. Let me know if you want another roll for the panpipes.
A little bit. He's supposed
All right.
to be. I'm waiting for him to start singing.
Who, me? I
No,
don't
this
sing.
guy. This song. He starts singing, and I'm trying to.
Oh, jeez.
It's not doing it. I was for certain that it was gonna. He'll start here in a second. Anyway. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so that's taking place. Now, we have an issue with Griv.
I have a decision.
You have
I
been
just
hanging. Go ahead.
Yeah, I finally am completely frustrated about what's happening. I don't know. I just go into town and start grabbing people and asking about Praetorian.
Okay.
Very possibly.
Would you roll me an intimidation check, please?
I'm doing this running, by the way.
All right. You have definitely run in town, and you've yelled this a few times, and you yourself have caught that you have startled many people with your ravings and your questions, and you're an imposing figure in your own way, and that has caught the attentions of the guard, and they surround you, wanting to know why you are being so aggressive with some of the merchants and town folk that have come into this area. What is your problem, Lizard Man? They ask you.
No, Lizard Man, I'm a Dragonborn. It's in my head. Understand? In my head. It's Praetorian. What the heck is it? Why am I here? That's what I said.
They feel that you're probably a little drunk. That maybe that you should spend the night in the pokey. And so they surround you and say, you need to follow us. It would be better if you go quietly, but if we have to do it the hard way, we will.
Town full of racists, that's what it is.
You're gonna have to do it the hard way. You're not taking me anywhere. Not nicely.
As you're doing that, there's a big burly one that walks up behind you, and he clobbers you in the back of the head and knocks you out.
That's cheap. That's cheap.
It's called Duff getting you from point A to point. If you want to know what a railroad looks like, that's what a railroad looks like. Okay?
I'm just going out on a limb here and saying, if you look at his portrait, there's not a lot of soft spots on the back of his head.
Yeah.
It looks pointy.
Yeah, looks like a lot of dragon
Yeah.
spikes to me.
Yeah, we do that. Everybody wants to see it. Yeah, he had to hit pretty hard, folks. Yeah, we're making it up as we go. We got to get him. So yes, they.
Truer
Okay.
words have never been spoken for our games.
It seems to be a running theme with Praetor's rejects. When I don't get what I want, I just force the issue. But it's true that I asked for rejects because it was funny. It was an apology to Lemon Ruckus because we had our discussion other week about your character and all that, and I forget sometimes that I want the reject sides, and I clearly when I went back and watched all that, I'm going, I was an effing idiot, and I apologize because we had discussed all that, and I'm like, why was I getting all it? It was a part of the game. It's part of your character, and it makes total sense. And for some reason, I had a stick up my butt, and so I apologize for it. I just couldn't, because I was like, he's supposed to be playing his character that way, and I'm wanting rejects on the shows. And every now and then I'll be watching other streams and all that, and I get how they're playing, and it's it's definitely along the typical lines of D&D, at least in mainstream stuff. And I'm like, I'm not looking for that, and sometimes I forget it. So yeah.
You dislodged it. Gotcha.
Yeah. So in this instance, yeah. So but back to the game where I'm going to get the character to jail. So he goes to jail too. Look how nice that is. He's all in jail.
In jail, I can do that pretty quick.
Yeah, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. Just hold on. Now we have to deal with Derlin. Derlin, the same thing's happening to you up at the northern gate, in that your tension and hanging around there, and nervousness has put the guards on edge, and a few have gathered around and are asking
Great.
you
Nervous racists.
to move yourself on into town, because it is actually getting toward dusk to some degree. You've spent the day around there, and they either make a choice, in or out with yourself. What shall you do, Derlin?
So I'd feel more comfortable outside if it's starting to get dark. So I would probably turn around and head out and try again in the morning.
He's doing this on purpose, you see, and so.
Yeah, what he
if you
doesn't
go-
realize
or you can
is
find a
Praetor
bar.
lives outside just as much as he lives inside.
That is so true. That is so true. And so, yes, you venture. I would think then that, or I want to assume. I would never want to assume for my players, except in our session 0, that you might make your way. You know, they're going to, knowing that you are having the gates, somewhat shut and the city to be locked down to some degree, is that you would filter yourself back away from the city, maybe finding a place where a little bit more
Secluded. Yeah,
Secluded?
exactly. I would,
awesome.
Exactly.
Awesome, Derlin. And so you do that. But unbeknownst to you there were a few bad guys out there also, and they happened to catch that you kind of went and hid yourself out there in seclusion, and they waited until you got secluded a little bit, and then they pummeled your ass and tried to take your money, finding out that you really didn't have much. They really go, wow, what a bad marker this was, as they tried to rob you, and they beat you up pretty good and leave you laying on the ground unconscious. And when you wake up, guess what?
Ouch.
You find yourself in this jail cell in the infirmary ward, though. They have a little infirmary. And yeah, you're being taken care of. Your body, you were found out there moaning, and they luckily brought you into the city.
I was gonna say, Jesus, what do they do to you?
Infirmary. Okay, as he got knocked out and he got pretty beat up. And as they were trying to rob him and all that, some other people came upon him in the scuffle that was taking place, and so he was.
Did they at least clean you off?
Yeah, and they wiped. Yeah, they helped him up, but he was knocked out pretty bad. And
I was just gonna say, because they came upon him.
Yeah. So there we go. So that's how he got there.
Oh,
So much better.
It just hit.
So I mean, not Derlin, but
Right.
Volmar. So you're last to address here with getting the group together. So you find yourself on this little outskirts of the dock area, so looking for some peace and quiet. Unfortunately, in this great city of Waterdeep, it's not something that has come easily to you, and I would hope that you would grow a little frustrated in your inabilities to find that peace and quiet, and that you might begin to venture somewhere else. Where would that somewhere else be?
To an inn, to a bed.
Well, your visions, because you were searching for that peace and quiet, you were able to connect a little bit with that inside you that has been one of the driving forces for all of you. And that driving force did actually, go figure, make your way up through the dock area toward these other party members. Now, this will also be coming to that each and every one of y'all, as y'all have been in contact with each other, very similar to what happened with the Uxuna and with Glixnix, y'all recognize them for some reason. There is a familiarity that you can't place. And so Volmar, moving around, trying to stay out of people's ways, you will make your way through, and you will be just pulled to this music that you hear that is jarring to say the least. And then I believe that he wanted to switch to his pan flute.
Yeah, please.
But this is so beautiful.
So would you please roll a performance check for your pan flute? Oh, nice. Look at that. So let's find
Oh my god.
we'll bring that down a little bit. That's a little loud. Ooh. Which one is that?
Sounds like the Karate Kid song.
I feel like I need to get up on some kind of pillar and just like start doing.
I can't get it to. Oh, is that you playing that, Linman?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there trying to control my music and I can't get it to go down. I'm like going, what in the hell is going on, man? I like turned it off and I'm like going, it's still playing in my ear. I thought I'd found the right one. You bastard.
He did it on purpose.
You're going to jail for that. You know what? You're a performer. No. So
by the way, Ruckus, I love you, man. That was great.
That deserves inspiration.
No shit.
Oh yeah. Give that man some inspiration, please.
Yes.
Spoiling the DM plans. Time.
Man, just totally threw me a curveball. Well played, sir. Well played. And yeah, so there the crowd, yes, definitely settles down. There is a cooing. You see the rapture has overtaken the group a little bit. What's up?
Somebody's frightened.
I didn't mean to click on that. I was trying to click back.
Like, who in the world's scared of a pan flute?
Well, had it been a 1 on that, and then it might have been scary for the pan flute. But yes, you have definitely you quelled the beast, so to speak. Now, can I bring my lovely music back up? Because now I can't hear anything.
I'll throw mine up if you want.
You can put it up a little bit. Yeah, just bring. I have the elf. They have plenty of the flutes and all that, but
go ahead then. Yeah, because I gotta reposition the microphone to do it.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. Where'd it go? While I'm looking for it, what is happening for the four of you is Volmar. You walk in, and when you step through there, Elbella, you will look up from your. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sobbing uncontrollably right now.
Okay.
It's the most beautiful thing I've heard in the world, and I'm just chugging down my alcohol. My daughter used to play like that. I don't know where she went.
There's this crazy bird man that's up there caw. Well, we know how caw works with this group, and we've heard it many times before with the Thursday night group, but this now we actually have it in play now. Actually, coming from this birdman who's cawing, and I believe you might actually calm down a little bit, Cackle, as you hear this flute playing. That is just beauty to your ears. But Volmar, you see this. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my flute. What the hell? That is sad.
Apparently, because Elbella's crying.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. I'll find it in a second. Here's quiet corner near the fire. Okay. Musicians playing for maybe there's a flute. Well, no, it's not. All right, so I'll find it in a second here. I want to get on with the storyline here. So Volmar, you see this large furbolg crying. Just it's a deep cry. It's something that actually it hits to your bones. It's so emotional, and you're drawn to her because you also think you know her. What would you do?
I'll walk right up to the table, sit down, grab a beer, and take a swig.
I'm gonna punch him in the face and demand another beer.
It's not quite going like I thought it would.
Really?
With 8 people? Are you
He
kidding?
wanted me in jail.
What did you expect? You have 4 of us in jail and 4 of us in a
Oh, I
bar.
didn't got to. Yeah, you jail people are y'all a trouble child. Okay.
Hey, Duff. Look
Yes.
at the personality trait from Volmar, and you'll
Uh-huh.
understand why I did that.
That's okay. So, so you grab this beer from this big furbog, and you drink it down, and Bella, you punch him in the nose and ask for another beer.
Yes. Another.
The barkeep comes over and asks. He looks at you, Volmar, and he asks for a couple of copper pieces. He saw what you did, and he, do you? And he looks at you, Albella, and he goes, "Do you know this gentleman that sits down with you?" Now,
This is a beer thief.
beer thief. Now you do recognize him for some reason, but the question still remains: that you are
Yeah.
asked? Do you
Oh.
know?
Do
Who
I
this
know
is?
him? Maybe. No, probably not.
Volmar will shake his head furiously. Yes.
Why do I get all the crazy ones? And you're gonna owe me a beer for that half elf. Or you're Volmar, half elf? Is that right, or elf?
Wood
Full
elf.
Wood elf. Okay, sorry, it's the tattoos throw me off. Sorry. So yeah, you're gonna owe it for that. And he waves for a barkeep to get a refill of the drink, and y'all kind of stare at each other a little bit. Linman, you're watching this, and you have the same pull, though your music is definitely doing its job. When this wood elf walked in and sat with a furbog, you begin to look at both of them, and the wheels in the back of your mind begin to churn a little bit, that there's something more than meets the eyes with these two. What would you do about that? Why do I ask? Because I know I'm not going to get the answer I want, but it's okay. I gotta ask.
Well, am I coming up on my
Would that
on
be-
my break? Am I coming
Yes,
up on?
yes. You have played the barkeep is motioning, sent over actually one of the winches to say there a hot plate is ready for you, and a drink of your choice. Just let me know what that is, and she will make a spot for you wherever you choose to enjoy your dinner for the evening.
I'm going to take up a spot close enough to hear their conversation, but not get involved until I pick up some details.
Done. All right. Kinku. Same thing's happening to you in your thrall
Yeah.
of mimicking the music that is now quieted down for a moment. And then you notice that you up on the tables dancing and cocking around, and that maybe
No, I was not doing any of that.
we pick on him a lot in the games, and so he can, and then
Oh,
you
so
deep. Go
he's
ahead.
me?
Somewhat, yes. On Thursday night, he is you, and then the deep
And a
parts
dwarf
of
redhead walks into the bar.
you were gonna.
I was
Oh,
just
gonna
no,
ask,
you
where'd she
ruined it
get
for me. You ruined it for me. Oh no, he's got that on the brain. There's for some reason a redheaded dwarf haunts this Kinku's.
Yeah. She's actually the demon that he made a pact with.
She very well might be. It very well might be.
We keep it up. We got a wedding coming on Thursday night, folks. Shotgun
I'm so
wedding.
excited.
So that's right.
Oh yeah.
We're going to have some pictures drawn for it all. We're going to have presents, all of the above. Anyway, so Kinku, yes. So the same thing is happening that you notice if you've noticed a furball and you've kept an eye on her somewhat. And now when the wood elf walks through and makes his way over, you are definitely keeping at least one eye because you're very good at that, moving, being a bird and how you can look at things. And then you notice the bard also, and you're having a hard time fighting and resisting not making your way over to them.
Well, if he's looking for a place to sit, I would kind of wave Linvon over, and I'm drinking a pitcher of a very sweet wine.
Okay.
Near enough to them that he might be interested in sitting down with me.
Okay. All right. Linvin, would you take the Kinku up on that offer?
I would kind of point at his wine and be like, "Is that the 257 vintage?" And be like, and then when he whatever makes a affirmation, I would go over.
It's going to be a nod to the affirmative. It didn't matter what he said. It was going to be, yep, that's exactly what it is.
All right. So that's taking place. Now we'll make our way back up to the miscreants of Portal's Reach. And
the convicts.
The convicts. They get yourselves in jail. Y'all are in jail here in an infirmary. And Oksana, you're lamenting that you were unable to get away. You were so close to having a mark, and you knew that you had this dead to rights, and just something, the dice roll were against you. DM dice roll. And you were sitting there with Glixnix when you watch as they drag in both a dragonborn, very stout looking creature. How these, guardsmen were able to put him down is a mystery to be resolved at another time. And then later on, they bring in the druid. And same thing that is happening with the bar personnel, these individuals look ever so strangely familiar to you. And they throw Kriv in the same holding cell with the two of you, because there's only a few cells here. What do you do?
Well, first I Kriv, because that's a lot of spikes on the back of your head, dude.
Kriv, you will slowly wake up while this is taking place.
Who, me?
Kriv is actually, he slowly comes to. Yeah.
He'd actually wake up to Glixnix, kind of like squatting on his chest, like eye to eye with him.
Oh.
Trying to piece together where he would recognize him from.
I stare back at Glixnix, completely surprised at what's happening.
I would hope that maybe you're still muttering a certain phrase under your breath.
Oh yes, I am, because I'm saying Praetorian.
Praetorius, yep.
Wrote it out.
He has said that a few times as they were dragging him in, and that arouses your two Uxuna and Glixnix. That is the same name that you have had in your dreams too.
I cast Produce Flame in my hands, and I go over to him, trying to intimidate him up against the wall, and say, "Where do you know that name?"
Ooh, nice! Flame! And I start playing with the flame.
Stop playing with my flame! That's my flame! I hold it back away from him so he can't reach it.
It's a nice flame!
It's my flame!
But do you know Praetorian? Is this little guy Praetorian?
I don't, but where do you know that name? I've been remembering that name for some reason. I don't know why. How do you know it?
I don't know.
Fire now?
It's in my head.
Fire!
I'm going to...
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
in the middle of the room, I cast Create Bonfire.
Well, you will find that you have your spell will not go off while you're here. That you are in some type of areas holding cell where you have got a dampener on your spell abilities. Okay.
Wait a minute, you mean my produce flame didn't work?
Oh yeah, your produce. Sorry, it wouldn't work either. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Yeah, it would not work actually. So you're trying to click your fingers. You're trying to put it up, and same thing with clicks that you're trying to, and you get a little misfire, a little spark, and nothing happens. But Kriv is saying this name, and Derlin, you will hear this also. You're not too far away, and you. Have been cleaned up a little bit, even though you're still worse for wear, and you are hearing this dragonborn moaning these words out. I would like Oksana and Glixnix to make me a perception roll, please.
In the tower or out in the
make it
open?
out in the open. Make it out in the open. No, it's looking good. Oh. Ooh.
I'm too distracted by the fact that he keeps saying Praetor, and I'm obsessed with him saying that name, and I can't concentrate on anything else.
You were still coming to. Glixnix, what you will notice is one of the guards was in there watching this. When Kriv was moaning these names, he kept himself closer to the cage than most everybody else. You just happen to kind of see him, looking like he was making work, he was doing things, and then when he heard it a few times, and Kriv definitely said it, as Kriv definitely came out of being unconscious and was regaining composure of himself, when he said this to you and Oksuna questioned him, this guard hastily made his way out of the jail. Okay? You may do with that information as you will. The taking place while that's going on, we're down at our barkeep area. Let's see, Linvin, you are hearing the conversation, or you hearing Volmar asking about Pretorius. Didn't you write Volmar?
Volmar doesn't speak.
Oh, Volmar didn't speak. Then, Bella, then maybe you're moaning it in your drink.
I'm staring down Volmar while I chug my drink. I have to be very aware.
Volmar reaches over for
Cackle.
the pitcher of wine and just pours himself a glass.
Cackle, will you start cocking Pretorius's name, please, for some reason?
Yeah, so Lynn Vaughn sits down to join me, and I'll utter the name as I sort of shrug my shoulders and see if because I think I recognize him, and I wonder if he recognizes the name. So I'll just be like, in the voice that I hear, it's like a feminine voice. I'll utter the name Pretorius.
All three of you will then look toward Cackle and stare at him. That even brings you, Elbella, out of your mourning, your wailing, your emotional wreckness that you're experiencing. And all three are, have to basically lift your upper jaw back up, because this is a great surprise that this winged, feathered man bird would be cawing this name out.
It's Bird Man, Dad. Bird Man.
Yes. And Linvin, Linvin and Volmar, while he's doing that, y'all may make me perception checks, please. How we weave this story together. Professional.
Masterfully done. Masterfully.
It is called Spaghetti Against the Wall to See What Sticks. And and the same thing happens in this bar. There has been a gentleman, or two actually, that you notice when the bird starts cackling this name, they watch and they look at the group of you, and they nod to each other, and they slide out the front door fairly quickly. And you may do with that as you wish. But it did catch your attention as this Birdman is calling this name. What would you do about the cawing?
I'm not cawing. I'm a little more subtle than you're making me out to be, man. I'm not like some fucking lunatic bird flapping around.
This parrot.
Like I just had my ass feathers singed off or something.
Fire.
I just imagine Toucan Sam.
Oh,
There you go. There you go.
you know, that reminds me. Albiel needs another Kenku feather for his writing utensils, so he has to have 2 now. That's for another day, though.
They don't know that yet. So, yes. Yeah.
Just wait for him to start molting.
So, Linman and Volmar and Elbella, you have got this subtle Kinku over there, chirping this name Pretorius.
God damn you. God damn.
And I noticed these guys leaving the tavern, right?
You noticed them that that caught their attention. There was a nod with them, and they slid right on out while y'all were still catching yourself in the recognition and all that. Some of your senses are still intact, and I'm not going to say that you're not noticeable and cognizant of what's going on around you. And they made their way out the front door fairly quickly when they heard that name go off.
I'll stand up, walk over to Cackle, and try and close his beak with my hands, and with the other one, I'll put my finger to my lips, and then I'll go sit back down.
Oh my gosh, Captain Reboot! Another thanks for the raid again. We should yes. On that note, as the horn goes off, we appreciate the host and the raid there for all the viewers coming up. We're in the middle of a session 0 of our Portals Reach game. Basically our players are getting indoctrinated into this new world that they're getting ready to be a part of. So we're doing it's mainly a lot of role playing because I've got 7-8 players in Fantasy Grounds right now, and I didn't want to do. We don't need all of them know Fantasy Grounds well enough. We didn't need to do a round of combat. So we're in the middle of Waterdeep right now, and they're discovering that they all know each other from all these different walks of life. And we've got one set that are in a bar, go figure, trying to figure life out, and the other set are in jail because they kind of lucked out and got in some trouble with the guards. So with that being said, Cackle the Kinku, this big wood elf, comes over and grabs your beak and goes, shh.
I made no sound.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, he doesn't make sound. I keep forgetting that, but yeah. Yeah, don't think it's D&D.
What sound does he think I'm making? I said one word. And
no,
I shrugged.
you keep repeating it, man.
No, I don't.
I'm pretty sure the GM said that you just kept cackling it over and over again.
What was that, Birdman? What'd you say?
He can know. I am teasing him. I tease him too much because he always gets he gets frustrated with me, and it's fun to pull his chain, and so it takes him down the roads he didn't want to go. So he said with a big chirp. No goddamn chirp. I think you said it was in a female voice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Can't you speak in a regular voice? Does everything have to be this
chirp,
cackle, chirping?
I figured he was living up to his name. He said his name is Cackle, so he's going to cackle it all the time.
I know, but I'm not stumbling around like a goddamn idiot, just cackling at everything.
Nobody said you were stumbling.
No, I didn't say you were stumbling. That you're an idiot. I just said you're a reject, and so you were excited that this name came to your mind all of a sudden, and you're lost.
Killing my vibe. You're killing the mystique.
How does a Kinku drink a beer? He has no lips. Yeah, he has to use a straw.
I'm not drinking beer. I'm drinking wine.
Yeah, it's wine. It's even better. So, if a fine wine that Linvin the Bard has found out that the Kinku has a very unique palate, and he has to have
No, it's a terrible wine. It's a very sweet, terrible wine.
that already. Oh, okay. So anyway, as we move forward and not get bogged down in my being silly with them, the word Pretorius has come from the Kinku's, his mimicked voice. And Linvin and Volmar and Elbella all look up to see the Kinku is the one that has uttered this word. What do you do? And actually, I'm sorry, Volmar jumped up and didn't say anything, but just held his finger to his lips and made the Kinku be quiet.
Yeah, but as long as he didn't touch me, because if he touched me, he's going to get stabbed.
Well, don't forget that y'all all think you know each other, that there is a sense of knowingness that, you weren't, even though Elbella, you don't know each other.
We don't know each other
as I'm sitting across from Cackle, and he goes to reach across to grab his beak, I'm going to grab his arm and be like, "We don't touch strangers." Like, Cackle, where did you get that name? I've heard that name before.
Yeah, I don't have any way to explain where I got it other than just to
dreams.
I just point at my head, and then I just shrug my shoulders.
Okay.
I look over and say very loudly, "What'd you say, Pretorius?"
So on my perception check, I saw those guys leave, right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, so I am going to think that they are scouts for the bounty hunters that are after me. And I'm going to tell them, like, we need to get out of here, or I'm going to leave without you. And you can sort out this Pretorius yourself.
Interesting. All right. So as you're proceeding to do that, Elbella, would you contradict anything, or what would you, hearing this, and now you have the bard saying we need to leave.
I don't know why, but I feel like I trust you, so I'm just gonna go with it.
Volmar?
Volmar gives Linvon the thumbs up and points to the door.
As y'all are proceeding to do that, a gentleman. Now, the gentlemen come back through the door, and in walks another colleague of theirs, dressed very similar, just a little bit better dressed than them. And Linvin, you see them, but he seems to be more of a, let's say a butler, type person. He is a retainer. That's what I'm looking for.
Servant?
You wouldn't know he's a servant, but he is like
Major Domo.
Something like that. And
Everybody grab your thesaurus.
He begins to make his way over to the four of you. Now, Lemon, you're over there basically trying to blend into the shadows a little bit. And this gentleman sits down in front of Elbella and Volmar, and he introduces himself as, he just leans down and he goes, "I understand that you are looking for Pretorius. Is that true?"
Volmar puts a finger to his lips and kind of shakes his head yes.
What he said.
Wait, you put a finger to the Major Domo's lips? Because that would be even better.
Pretty much both.
He says you have nothing to worry about. You, the other patrons in here will not even remember that the group of us was here for very much longer. But if that is true, does the word, understanding that the word Pretorius means something to you. He reaches into a little pouch of his and he pulls out a little bit of like leather parchment, a little bit, it's a little rough, a little brittle, looks old. And on it is the image of a portal. And he puts that on the table and he points to that and he looks at you and he goes, does this look familiar to you? And it is, it does. Let me just put it that way. It does to you.
I was going to say, Volmar's eyes go wide and he shakes his head furiously up and down and is saying yes. Not saying it, but, shaking his head yes.
I've
Elbella?
been trying to drink these images away, god damn it!
Cackle?
Well, apparently I just go batshit crazy and start screaming that I'm like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Basically, the Kinku just starts talking
That's
portal.
the cannon.
Portal.
No, I'll just nod my head. I'll just nod my head.
Linvin?
I'm still trying to sneak out of there.
Well, he knows that you're there. So, and the men have got, they're by the door and all that. Roll me a, what am I going to want? I want a wisdom save from you, please. Your curiosity is going to get the best of you.
All right.
Just, it's...
Yeah. I'll stop trying to actively escape the room
He
and
always
stay
likes
within
trying to do this to me.
and
He's
stay
so
within
funny.
earshot.
He hates me railroading things. He has since I did it
No,
one day.
hey, if I was on Ruckus, this guy would be already on the ground. But,
Yes, I would have played it much differently too. Trust me. So
yeah,
I know your
I'll
tendencies.
stay within stay within earshot.
He goes, he says, yes, I believe that you have many questions. The man that has the many answers is not that far away. If you would care to join me, I believe that he has much to say to the four of you. He has been waiting for you to come to him. Please trust me and follow me, and all your questions will be answered. And he gets up and he puts a few coin on the table and he motions to the barkeep and, points to you, and they make a signal to each other, and boom, the barkeep doesn't even pay attention to what you are doing. And he walks to the front door, opens the door, and keeps it open for the four of you to make your way out. If you would like to follow him. You want to follow?
Yeah,
I'll grab my mug and follow him out the door.
yeah. I'm gonna refill my my water skin with the rest of that wine.
I was just going to say, Volmar's just going to grab the wine pitcher.
And Cackle?
Yeah, I'll just walk out. I'm not gonna-
Before I leave, though, I am gonna hit up the owner of this place for my payment.
The barkeep he's looking at you, and the domo will say, we'll cover it for you. Follow me. Your payment will be with me. I'll be taken care of when we get to our destination.
Okay.
Yep. Y'all make your way out. Yay! We got somewhere. And so, tell me I can't unlock this map. Oh, you got it.
without getting thrown in jail. We got
You
something
didn't get
done.
thrown in jail.
Yeah,
but
because
y'all
we're not
make-
savages.
Yeah. So y'all make your way.
Hey!
Okay.
Fine.
Yep.
Yeah, just throw it.
Now, while y'all are making
Fire
your way,
is not savage, fire is
Yeah.
life.
so as always, if you remember in your initial meetings with Praetor, that you were taken around in and around different parts of Waterdeep, and you were thoroughly lost by the time you come around a particular cul-de-sac area, and a set of homes are here, and one of them, they're all very nondescript, but he walks up to one and opens the door, pulls out a key, if key rings, click, click, snap, and he opens the door, and he waves for the four of you to follow him in. And he waits for y'all to come into the little foyer area, and he goes, He snaps his fingers, and a couple of, yes, definitely servant types come running up, and he says, our guests need refreshment and a place to clean up briefly before they meet the master. Show them to some of the guest rooms. And he points not very far down the hall. He's just, you see several rooms, several doors are all opened up, and the servants basically motion for the four of you to make your way to, a couple of rooms. And they bring in some water basins, they bring in extra refreshments, and he says, just a few moments, we're waiting for some, I believe the rest of your party will be joining us shortly. And that means nothing to y'all because y'all didn't understand that, but he says, just give us a few more minutes. And he says, I will be right back to fetch you to meet that which you call Praetorius. What's that, Albella?
Oh, no, nothing. Sorry.
So we make our way back to the miscreants, and the four of you, okay. Well, Derlin, you have been, definitely taken care of. They have cleaned you up. They haven't let you go. And for unknown reason, the guards come in and they get their weapons. They draw their weapons and they tell the three of you in the cell to no funny business, or we'll just string you up here, but follow us outside. And they come over to you, Derlin, and they say, you too, you might as well just go with the rest of this group. And Derlin, you're a little thrown off because you didn't do anything wrong, but they want you to head out with the rest of the group. And they put you in a paddy wagon and they load you up, and outside is our gentleman, our domo, who is standing out there, and he's giving the guard who was watching you some money. And he motions for the wagon to take off, and the four of y'all are carted away around a few turns and corners and all that, and you were brought up to, guess what? It's a house in the middle of this place. It's a very nondescript house, and you're let out of the wagon, and our domo says, follow me, please. And he looks to you, Oksana, and he goes, and please keep your hands to yourself here. The master would not appreciate any more of people that come into his house stealing his silverware and stuff. That's an inside joke.
I put my hands behind my back, crossing my fingers, and look at him and go, I wouldn't steal anything from him.
Well, there's already been a theft in this place, and we are trying to find the master's wonderful silverware and place settings, but they were given to him by his great grandmother, and they're gone.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about it. I just got to town yesterday.
Well, he's a little perturbed by it, and we know they don't know where it went. They think. So emotion y'all in.
Granny Pretorius is rolling around in her grave.
That's right, Granny Pretorius. All right. Well, you have to go back. Go ahead.
Sorry. The door. Yeah, as he moves towards the door, he's like backing up towards the door. Like as he reaches the door, he looks at the guards, looks at the wooden wagon, and casts Create Bonfire in the back of the wagon, and just steps inside.
Yeah. Well, so you put the wagon on fire, and they rush over. Yeah, and they're.
I look down at him and I go, "Oh, that was beautiful. Do that again."
And y'all are ushered in, and you see these other companions that have been freshened up. Unfortunately, y'all haven't been offered that same hospitality because the domo comes in and he grimaces at you just a little bit, Glixnix, thinking that he knows what that was, who might have caused that, uncertain, or he may looks at Oksana a little bit. And he says, if the 8 of you would mind following me, your questions shall shortly be answered. And he takes you up a couple flights of stairs, and he motions you and opens a door, and he lets you walk into, it's a nice little library. It's not too opulent, as always. Nice little table for you to sit at. There are still
Do I see?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Do I spy any spell books?
No, there are some books here. And you will definitely also that y'all fire off a spell or two, or you're thinking you can reach into there, but there's some blocking going on in this room. Okay. You definitely have some suppression of some type happening in this room. But sitting at a table at the other end of this study is a man, looks very similar to me. And he is wearing some nice clothes, but he's definitely, and it's not opulent. There's one thing about Praetor, he doesn't like to stand too much out in the crowd. And before him on his desk or books opened up, there's definitely some candles, there's been lighting, there's been, definitely a lot of work going on here. And then one of the tops of his piles of papers and all that is a parchment that looks very similar to what the 4 of y'all saw on the bar. And there's some drawings and some words on it and all that. And he is staring at it, and you all are watching him because he hasn't made a sound yet. And you see him grab his head, and as though there's a brief moment, is a flash of pain, and he definitely puts both of his palms onto his temples, and he is pressing in, and he's kind of breathing heavily for a moment, and then you see it kind of wash over him a little bit, and he then looks up and his eyes clear, and he goes, "Oh, good, you are all here. It is time. It's very much time that y'all all have made your way to the steps of my humble establishment. Welcome. My name, as though you may know, have been told in your dreams. My formal name is Praetorius, but you may just call me Praetor. I'm Praetor of Waterdeep. It is a pleasure to finally get to see each and every one of you in person. You have all haunted my dreams for some time. I hope that has not been the case.
You've been haunting mine.
And
Yeah, what's up with that?
Taking up a drink.
I was afraid of that. Hopefully that the dreams are not as painful as they have been for me. And he rubs his head again a little bit, and he reaches down and he takes this worn parchment paper and he rolls it up a little bit and he sticks it into inside pocket of his robe and kind of buttons up a little bit, and he goes, I must get to the point quickly because time is of the essence, but I will believe and understand that you all have questions and wondering why you are here. Would that be true for each of you?
I mean, I just want to know
Yes.
why I have this name in my head. Why? Well, I don't really care what happens afterwards. Just have this name in my head.
What about the rest of you? Anything you'd want to add or question? When he says that you would have questions or wanting to know why.
I just stand up and say very menacingly, I want your name and your words out of my head. That's what I want.
I feel the same, great barbarian, and I believe that I can answer briefly that which is troubling all of us. For I too have had these same dreams of a portal that takes us to another land, and I seek all of your assistance. For I believe that to end these dreams and all that, you will need to travel through the portal to continue on your journey and continue on and learn more about who you are, that which is your fate in life. And I believe that I am the vessel through which that will happen. And he goes, instead of just talking about it, let me show you. And he kind of claps his hands a little bit. And this wizard shows up from the back of the room, just right behind him a little bit. But one moment he wasn't there, but you saw briefly like the bookcase opened up a little bit, and the wizard kind of thought he was stepping through stealthily, like he was just going to show up there, but his robe got caught in the floorboard of the way that the bookcase, and he kind of snaps it, and you hear a little rip of his, his robe and his back cape area, and he kind of curses a little bit. And
I go over to try and help him. I go over to try and help him out, and while I do, I try and see if I can pickpocket for him for anything.
You won't be successful, just so you know.
Is it a rock gnome wizard?
No, it's no, it's actually.
Is it Dirt? Does Dirt show up?
No, it's not Dirt. It's Jack's character. His name is Cat, and Catastrophe, and you can try to pickpocket him. You will pickpocket him, and you will find some. He has definitely a few pockets that you will pull out some regents. Stuff like that. You will find some herbs. You will find some twigs. You will find a couple of dead grubs. All different kinds of sort. Okay, yeah. And he's a little disheveled. He's definitely a little bit on the hyper side. And he goes, yes, they're here. And Praetor says, yes, we have finally found them that will answer our questions. I know this time that we will be successful with them. How can we not when there are so many here before us
out
now?
there, big man.
Yep.
This time, I don't. What do you mean this time?
He's gonna.
What?
He said this time I know that things will be better, and so he goes, Cat, we must show them this time. Like I said, go find Art and have him meet us down in the courtyard, and I will show them that which has been troubling their dreams as of late. And he has each and every, he basically pushes on the back bookcase area to where you can see is a stairwell that goes down on the back, what you believe is the back side of the house. And he motions for the group to head on down the stairs, follow it straight on out, and you will find yourself in the back courtyard of my little countryside home here.
I hang to the back of the group, and as we're leaving the room, I try and grab the first book I can without him noticing and stuff it in my pack.
Why do they always steal from him? Why do they steal?
Good job.
Okay.
Why does he keep inviting people that were in jail into his house?
You're good at it.
I'm starting to think that maybe if he had just come to the tavern, we could have done this all in public.
This is Praetor. All your questions will be answered shortly. He says to you.
I'm going to hum a little tune and grant her bardic inspiration.
Oh, she gets the book. She gets a book. I'm not going to fight it. Yeah, so she got a book. She just doesn't know which one. She wasn't able to kind of see what it was yet. I'll give that to her off session, which one she grabbed. Because like the last time one of the ladies grabbed a book when they weren't supposed to, something bad happened to her, didn't it? Hint, hint, hint.
That was not me. I didn't.
That was me.
I didn't say I was going to read it. I just said I was going
Someone
to grab
drooled
it.
on themselves for 3 or 4 days straight now, didn't they? So y'all make your way down the back courtyard area and opens up into a little foyer. And you see some glass doors, and out in the back, and there's more room back here than you would even guess. How something has definitely got a courtyard with some grass and flower beds, and it stretches for a little while. And, it definitely, I'm going to grant everyone the perception that, there is some magic more here afoot as far as granting this luscious living space of a garden with a patio and some tables and chairs. And y'all also see what looks to be a feast has been set up on the tables, and some of y'all
Don't need anything, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you don't know that.
Don't need any of this, guys.
So they, sitting there, and he points and you look on out past all that into the courtyard, and before you is a portal that is almost identical, just slightly different, but it's not the exact same that you have seen in your dreams or were shown on the parchment. And it is, stone made. It is definitely high enough that a wagon or two wagons could go through it with plenty of cargo and people, and a couple people sitting on it, and drawn by a team of oxen or other type of pulling beast. And at the top of it, around the top part, are some ruins that definitely make no sense to you, but you can see them definitely etched in very deep into the stonework. And he goes, this is the reason all of us are here. That reason, though, has still eluded me for some time. And you question why you are here. You question why what seems to be secrecy and all that, before I feel that something on the other side has been calling all of us. Something on the other side is seeking to be discovered. And for that, I need individuals as yourselves. You have been chosen for some reason. Whatever that reason is for you to find out and determine by crossing over to the other side. Does that sound of interest to the group? You can start anew. You can leave that which troubles you here. No one will know where you are. He begins to play
But I
upon.
want people to know where I am.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. He begins to play upon your feelings of that which has been following you, that which has been dark and troubled in your minds, that which you are fleeing from, those bad traits that you have. If
I disappear, how will I ever find my family again?
This, not to say that you won't ever find your family, but I believe some of the answers that you seek are through that portal. That can be the only reason why you are here, and all of us drawn together from all these walks of life. Sometimes we just have to give in and trust that we are being led in the right direction.
While I'm eating, I ask, are there going to be big monsters ahead? That's my main concern.
I'm not sure what is on the other side. I am trying to decipher some things that have been given to me in my dreams for that why we were able to create this portal that you see before you. And Cat comes down, he begins to join the group, and with him is another wizard that he mentioned. Oh, Art, it is great that you finally joined us from your studies. And Art is the exact opposite of Cat. He is well dressed. He, has got a discerning look about him. He is, looks like he's bathed wherever Cat might have missed a bath or two over the week. And he is, one that shows that he can handle himself, and is quite aware of each and every one of you and who you are. And you definitely see him as he watches and looks at each and every one of you, that he is, reading your thoughts, or, looking at you, understands who you are, nods in each and every one of you. And he looks at Praetor and he goes, having this group here is definitely a change for once. Maybe you are onto something, that by numbers, the code can be broken. And Praetor goes, I know it can. Why else would I be seeing these things? And they kind of have a stare off and look at each other. And Cat goes, no mine. They're here now. Let's celebrate. We must celebrate.
What do you mean by numbers?
What's that? You say by numbers? He will
by numbers,
say,
this can be solved. Like, how many people have you sent into this thing?
We have sent a few to go over. There have been others that have come before you. I will not lie, that have come also seeking some of the same answers. And for whatever reason, that's why I have some of my, what I shall say, employees, those which work for me, out and about in the city at certain areas, looking for those who might be muttering or saying my name and not understanding why they are saying it. We have been able to discern a few that have come here, and they have been looking for the same thing that you are looking for. And so we have built this portal for some reason, which we have not yet been to discern, and we are still studying it, but we are, we believe that it's for the best for all those involved if you travel to the other side to seek out and find why this is happening.
So why don't you go through it? You expect us to go through it.
Is it a one-way portal?
Doesn't believe it's a one-way portal.
So he said
Then why
people
haven't
come
you gone
back.
through it?
Because my studies keep me here to understanding why this portal was sent to us, why we were able to discover this. And he begins to relate a tale about actually they found part of the portal in this. He had a visitor, strange visitor, came to him one night and told him that he needed to seek out the town. He needed to seek out, oh my Lord, I'm going to forget the name of the word. Oh crap. Now I had all my RP together. He says, and I'll put it in chat. He basically says the name we believe that this world is called, and there is, we believe there may be great riches to be found there. There may be that resources and stuff to bring back. We don't know for certain, and he believes that, don't fight the fate, just go with it, and we will work with each other to figure out the mysteries that surround this beckoning.
Is this the only portal?
He's not sure.
To go into?
He's not sure.
Have they appeared in other places?
He himself has not found any others or heard any, but he gets the feeling. He looks at all of you and he goes, "Have all of you not seen this same portal in your dreams?"
I'll nod the affirmative.
Well, I'm going to let you know that Glixnix, Cackle, and Kriv, the portal that you see before you is not quite the same one that you see in your dreams. There are slightly different writings and structure to the ones that you see. It is almost identical, but they are ever so different. Basically, it's the writing on the portal. Doesn't mean anything to you, but it's definitely not the same scripture.
Nah, that's,
I don't care.
at the top of that. Nah, that's not right.
Why? And you say that to him?
Yeah.
What leads you to say that, Goblin?
You
Is
say
it
these
different?
dreams are of the. Yeah, it's different. You say the dreams are the portal. That's not the portal. Either you're wrong or the dream is.
The dream I have is this portal. You are saying that the dream you have is a different portal.
I'm going to draw him a picture of the portal that I see.
Okay. You draw him a picture of it, and the difference is when you point and your picture, and he pointed a picture, and this gets Art and Cat all agitated, and they're looking at it, and they then look at each other, and Art basically says if that is true, Kinku, and is this the best that you can remember it? Art says this to you, Cackle. Is this the best that you can remember?
I mean, I'm pretty good at doing this kind of thing, so yeah, I'll give him the head nod.
Then her question is valid. Then there has got to be more than one here, which is a concern then. And Praetor goes, they have to go through. They've got to determine on the other side where these other portals are located at. If there are more there, they need to go find them, and they need to find them quickly. And he says, enough. And Praetor says, okay, it's enough it's a lot to digest for the moment. He says, let's enjoy the rest of the evening. the morning shall bring the answer to us, and the decision will be before them whether or not they want to continue on their journey. But for the rest of the evening, they are here with us now. I know there's a reason for them being here, and I accept it into my home. You may relax, enjoy yourself. Nothing will disturb you for the rest of the night. And he says, enough talk about it. And Art and Kat, they all kind of look at him and they shake their heads, and they all proceed. The servers bring out water, they bring out wine, they bring out meat, there's food, there's fresh meats. They don't bring any chicken, they bring other stuff, just so you know. And they, lots of fruits, and they proceed to ask everyone to join them at the tables there. And Praetor grabs an urn of wine, and he pours a drink, and he says, and here is to a comfortable evening. Here's to a relaxed evening, in which the dawn will bring us to a new day, and one more day closer to the answers to our questions. And he kind of holds it up to each and every one of you, hoping that you will pour your drinks. And they walk around and they offer each and every one of you a glass, and either wine or water or mead. And unless someone doesn't want any, you all will take them. And Lynn pretends to take a sip. And y'all drink up. And
No,
So,
I don't drink anything.
you don't have to if you don't want to. That's fine.
If you can tell me that there are audiences to inspire and razzle dazzle on the other side of that portal and stories to be had, I'll go. For the right price.
Well, he's okay. So he says, I was wondering when a price would have come up, and he will let you know that which you discover and have for yourself while you were there is definitely your own. He is looking for answers to the mysteries that surround the writings on this portal and the reasons for why it is here and where it is on the other side. That is what his answers are. And hopefully the cessation of these dreams that he continued to have and that all of you have had for some time now. And that if you come back, and demand, there's, more money to be had, then he will pay a handsome fee for your time spent over there. There's no question about that.
I hand him a list
of.
I poke at the list, and it's just sensible gear for going through an unknown portal, like a blanket, a bedroll, rations, water skin.
Most of what you have. They definitely can.
Well, I don't have any of that. I have a goddamn parchment and a ink and a quill.
Oh, okay. So you may. Okay, he will take that list, and he looks over it and he reads it out to the rest of the group, and he says, "Does anyone need anything else, such as a wine? If you need traveling gear, that which is, you can't go overboard, folks. So don't try to push it. You just need your regular starting gear. If there's something else you're missing, torches, he will supply that to you."
Yeah. So I went with the Scholars Pack. So I guess just basically the Adventurers Pack or whatever the Dungeon Delver Pack is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he can supply that, and he says, I can have that ready for us in the morn. If anybody else.
Healing potion.
No, and you don't get healing
Overboard?
potions. Nope. Nope. Nice try.
Yeah, I just don't want to go through with nothing but a pad of paper and a pencil.
He tells you that he doesn't believe that the magic will he tells you that even though you may carry it with you, he doesn't think that it will be any good when you go through. They have tried to scry through the portal. They have tried to send magical objects through the portal, and then nothing happens. It basically.
Sorry, I'm back.
It actually, when it goes through the portal, it basically ends up on the other side of the portal, right there, laying on the ground. That's why you have no magic. No magic items will be able to. We have been able to send through the portal.
Well, Will my quarterstaff be able to go with me?
Is it? It's a regular. It's just a quarterstaff, right?
It's an arcane with arcane focus, though.
Oh, your focus will go through. Yeah, that stuff you
Okay.
go through. Yes, you're okay. So anything y'all, yeah. So don't get me wrong. Yeah, anything that you have that comes with the pack, and I'll throw on some other stuff. If you want a blanket or wineskin. If some of y'all don't have that, I don't mind. Other DMs can yell at me later. We can throw that on there. Regular stuff that would come with the Explorers pack. He can definitely get that all sewn up and give to you. But he says, I will make this list and I will have them go shopping, and they will have this ready for us in the morning. But enough of that. Continue, and they, I am famished. And he basically, walks over and he looks at all of you and trying to coax all those who are not eating, don't trust him. He says, I understand, your hesitancy and all that, but for the night, there's no need for that. We will all meet back here in the morning anyway to discuss the next step. And he is eating, and he is kind of beaming himself a little bit that he is for certain that this group that stands before him will have the success of answering those questions.
Real quick question, Duff.
Yep.
If I create a note in Fantasy Grounds, you'll be able to access it, right?
If it stays in my notes, yes.
Yeah, the actual notes tab there.
Let me check. I can see Volmar's notes. Yep.
Okay, that's good, because this is a note that Volmar is going to write to Mr. Praetor. So we'll just
that's
leave it
fine.
at that, and we'll let you read it here to the stream once he accepts whatever once he figures out what he's doing.
That's fine. You can write it in there. Yeah, I can see all the notes. Yes, as a DM. Anybody else have any questions as this is taking place? This feast and this relaxing. The wizards have relaxed. Definitely Cat. He's bouncing around trying to chat at each and every one of you. He asks about your background. He asks about, what's it like, traveling out on the road a lot. He doesn't get out much at all here. The research and that has taken up his time. Art, on the other hand, is definitely more reserved. You see him. He walks around. He watches and he looks at the portal some. He touches it. He looks at the different parts of the back area, the grounds, as though he is checking on things. You get a feeling, especially that those are the wizard type and all, that he is strengthening what he believes are protection spells. He is, trying to, keep. He is definitely concerned about the portal and knowing that that the Glixnix has seen a different one, that he's just doing his thing to protect this area. And he makes no bones about it that y'all see that he is, that you see what he's doing. He's not trying to hide it.
As he's doing his thing and as Praetor's telling his stories and everybody's distracted, I occasionally
Leave my
on the
silverware
table.
alone.
I didn't say anything about silver. I occasionally reach and grab one of the goblets
I hate
from
y'all. He hates y'all. He hates y'all. He hates y'all. Awesome. More of this flatware and all that begins to make its way
You
over
can buy more.
to the new world. Yes, he does. He's not catching it either, but you know what? He's going to have to start learning his lesson, he believes. So Praetor, so as the feast, this wears on for an hour or so, and it's definitely getting late into the evening, and everyone is feeling tired. Everybody's, still slightly apprehensive. He understands that, and he says, my servants will show you back to your rooms, and he looks to the four of y'all that came from the pokey, and he says, do not worry, we have, is that there are also rooms for each and every one of you to make yourself home, clean up. My servants will come and get you in the morning for breakfast, and we shall have our decisions to make.
Glixnix and I need to be in the same room, please.
This whole meal, Volmar is eating with his hands and wiping his mouth with his arm.
Yep. And so he motions everyone to do, and y'all are shown to your rooms. And you notice Art watches each of you as you, make your way to your rooms, and he confirms, or you kind of see him as looking as each and every one of y'all enter your rooms for the evening. And it's night time. I know someone's going to try something, so go ahead and say it. Oksana, go ahead. You tried.
You know so well. I sneak out of my room in the middle of the night and try to go back to his office and explore the books.
You will be unsuccessful in finding the way to the study. You go up a set of stairs to find that the door which you were expecting to be there is not there. It is a wall.
Well, since Volmar doesn't sleep, he'll just meditate in trance on the floor.
Okay, so I sneak around a little bit more looking for the other people in their rooms. I find Volmar meditating on his floor, and while he's in the deep meditative state, I braid his hair into pigtails and then sneak back out of the room.
Volmar, do you want to come up out of your meditation to find your hair pigtailed? Oh,
nope.
Boy. Oh, do I make her make a sleight of hand? Do I make her make a stealth check, folks?
Stealth.
You roll away. Roll away. Oh, look at that. She slaps it down. So, all right. So
well done.
You giggle to yourself back to your room that you just braided Volmar's hair, okay, into pigtails. Pippi Longstocking pigtails, okay, that semi-stand up, okay. His hair is so rough and hard, all right, so we make it to the morning, and as dawn begins to break, it is a fake dawn too, you notice, that the sun has not risen yet, but is definitely growing light out. The group will be ushered back to the courtyard. A breakfast has been laid out for you. It is ready for you. Fruits, some eggs. Nope, no eggs. Sorry, no eggs. And just fruits and wine and water for the group to eat.
I'm not eating any of that. I reached in and grabbed some of my rations.
You can have fish. Yes, you have fish.
Nope.
And
nope.
Praetor and Kat and Art come out, and they are arguing a little bit with each other, and Art goes, "You have to tell them." You hear him basically in his low voice, in your excitement, you forgot one piece of information that they need to know. And Praetor goes, okay, I get it, I understand. It slipped my mind. I will let them know. And he turns around, and all of y'all are hearing this, and you're definitely scowls on your face, question looks on your lips.
My hair is starting to turn blue.
And he goes, yes. Like Art is right. Art is right.
In his mouth.
Yeah. So he goes, yes, there was. I won't hide it. It was a bit of information that I forgot in my rush to get this group through the portal, and that is that we have through our research and the studies that the lore that has been given to us about what is happening here, that there is a magical brand that must be inscribed upon your arm before you can pass through the portal. The portal will not activate without this brand on your left arm. And with your permission, Art will inscribe this on your arm, and with that acceptance of it, then you can step through the portal to continue onwards and gather information and discover the true meaning of what is going on the other side.
I refuse to go first, so I'm going to hang back and watch and see as everybody else gets theirs before I decide if I want to take mine.
I put the thing on and I go right ahead.
Well, you basically present your arm to Art, and he will take out what looks like it's charcoal, but it's definitely doesn't feel that. You had a little burning, a little sizzle, and he inscrawls this wavy lines and some there's a little bit of artwork there, and he's looking at a piece of paper, and he's making sure he knows. He goes, I know this, and he scrawls it around, and it flashes briefly when he finishes it, and he points, and he looks at the portal, and he motions for you to proceed onward.
As he's doing that, I look over at Volmar and go, what a lovely new hairstyle, Volmar.
Volmar, do you perceive that your hair's been changed?
Let's check.
Oh,
yeah, I think different. I do.
Definitely different for you.
I will give her the thumbs up, shake my head, walk over to Praetor slowly, and hand him a note, and then walk over to what's his name, and extend my arm.
Art. Okay, so first we'll take Kriv. Kriv, he finishes the drawing. Art motions for the portal. Do you begin to proceed toward the portal?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I go through the portal. I just say, guys, see you on the other side.
Well, what happens, so what y'all watch is that he begins to move toward the portal. It begins to coalesce in the center and begins to swirl a blue, nice whirlpool. It's very faint until he begins getting closer and closer to it. You also will notice that the portal, the writing on the portal and the brand on his arm will begin to also do the same glowing, and it gets brighter and brighter until Kriv gets up on the portal, and when he gets and touches it and steps through, it's a pop, and everything goes dead, and the circle is gone, Kriv is gone, the portal doesn't unlights, and you're back to hearing sounds of birds chirping and insects buzzing, and a gasp from Praetor. It worked again. Yes, I know this is right. Who's next?
I'm not going through a swirly blue thing.
That's when Volmar steps up and hands Praetor the note.
He got it, and he pockets it for a moment, and he watches,
and then he extends his arm towards Art.
Art does the same thing, draws it, then points to the portal.
Is the once he has it inscribed on him, is it still visible, or does it
Yes.
It goes. So it's like a tattoo then.
Yes, it's a brand. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because it sizzles a little bit, and you see.
And before he walks through the portal, he'll motion for Praetor to read the note.
He says he's pulling it up, and do you step through the portal?
Not until I see the reaction on his face.
He just reads it and then looks up at you.
Did you read it to the stream? You've got to show it to the stream. I took the time to write that out for you.
Praetor has a note. He didn't. He read it, and he looks at you. And he waits.
The tension is
so he read the note.
He's looking at it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He understands. Yep.
I'll walk through the portal.
All right. Yep.
Derlin.
Now, come on! You've got to read that to the stream
Praetor,
so that everybody can hear it.
No, I'll tell you what he does I'll tell you done, and we get done here a second. So I'll read it. Okay. So, who's next?
Derlin
walks up, gets the brand.
He wants to make sure he grabs any non-perishable food goods that were about. Leave it in the backpack.
Yeah, and so actually, do me a favor for all of y'all. If you want to create a note in Fantasy Grounds real quick for like Cackle your extra stuff, just make me a note. Just go to notes, put your name on it.
I threw it in my inventory.
Oh, what you wanted? You mean? Or
I grabbed the Explorer's Pack.
that's fine. That's perfectly fine then. No problem.
Okay.
Anybody else wants, if there's something else that y'all want, I just need to know, that's of simple equipment. Okay.
Well, as he's grabbing the food, I'm going behind him and taking more silverware without anybody noticing. And
you have
everybody
been
thinks
privy
it's him
to
taking food.
information that's going to get you in trouble when you are on the other side there, Oksana. Trust me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ogres are going to find you something fierce when we get over there.
Are there even ogres over there? Is there even air? We don't know.
You don't know. She knows what I'm talking about, though. Praetor knows all. So, Derlin, you are branded. Shall you walk through the portal?
Yep.
Pop. Derlin is gone. As the sun is rising up, shadowing, coming up and over from the backside of the portal, making everything bright. Who is next, he says.
I'll make sure that they have a copy of the portal that I saw. They still have that?
Yeah, yes, Art actually kept that, unless you want it. Yes.
No, he can have it. And then I'm gonna I'll make a copy of what the brand is in my book of lore. And
Okay.
then
It's going to be on your arm in a
arm.
second anyway. Yeah, you'll be able to look at it. Yeah. So.
Well, I'm in the book. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Okay.
then I'll do the whatever it is, and then I'll head on through.
Cackle goes through. That is half the group. Yes. The other half, please. Take your first steps to a new destiny. It is before you now. Grab it, seek it, make it yours.
Linvon's gonna hold out his arm, and then as soon as they kind of like go to heat up the brand again, he's gonna make a break for the portal.
Oh no!
So you're not going to get the portal. You're not going to get the brand on your arm. What you're saying? You're not gonna let
What is the brand for other than being extremely painful and a source of infection in this unknown territory we're going?
What you see that you have seen so far that it lights up the same color, and that the portal becomes more present when the brand gets closer to the portal. It begins fading. It's very, very faint when you get the brand and start moving forward. As you get closer and closer, you notice that the portal has opened up. It has become more power. The power has generated, and as soon as they touch it, everything goes off.
Yeah,
So is the brand like
you think that they're
an
related?
iron brand or a magical brand?
You don't know. You haven't got it yet.
I just witnessed a bunch of people get it.
You saw that he did it. It looks like a piece of charcoal, and he writes on the arm, and it definitely seeps into as a tattoo of some sorts, but it begins to glow also.
Yeah, so he's not actually like heating up an iron.
No, but there is definitely sizzle. There is definitely some irritation on the skin. You have seen the little sizzle. You have seen that it definitely marks the body.
Yeah. Let's go with inscribes a rune upon your arm rather than branding, because that gives me images of extremely painful.
Do you let?
I'll get it.
Okay. Yeah, you feel pain. It is definitely something that is definitely a little deep.
And here I was kind of hoping he would just take off towards the portal.
Oh, I was hoping he would too. So so you thought about it, and you then proceed to walk through the portal, or are you going to run as soon as you get hit with that and yell out "son of a," and you fall? You don't want to back into the portal by accident as you're grabbing your arm.
No, I'm gonna run at the portal, and then I'm gonna make an acrobatics check and do a flourish through the portal.
Would you please? Oh, look at that! He does. It's a cartwheel, backflip, cannonball maneuver, and he just yells "F you," and he goes right through it, and he's gone. I'm not going to say what happens on the other side. So he's coming through at light speed, cannonball style. We don't know what's on the other side yet, so we'll deal with that in a second. So there are
pool, hopefully.
Yeah. Yes. So we have a furbolg, a goblin, and a genasi. Who is
I
next?
told you I'm going last.
Yeah, you haven't happened to seen a large tribe of furball around here, have you?
There could be on the other side.
I'm gonna grab whatever's left of the wine, take a swig, and walk up to the portal for the brand stuff.
You're gonna we gotta get the brand first, or you can go through it on without.
Yep, but I'm just gonna hold on to this.
Wait, has anybody gone through without?
No,
Well,
I'm walking up to the portal and the dude with the branding stuff.
I'm just curious if anyone like.
I did that on
Sorry.
another character.
Oh,
Shush,
you did?
you
Okay.
don't know that now. Shush, you are
Oh,
you are Elbella right now.
I am
only.
Elbella. Yes.
Shush.
I'll have to watch
Out of
it.
character. I
Shush.
said that out of character.
Shush. I'll give you. I'll tell you in a sec after we're done. So Elbella gets the brand, and Elbella takes her wine, takes a big old long draft of it, maybe lets out a nice little belch, and walks through the portal.
I hope I don't regret this. I just went through.
Pop, you go through. There are two of you left.
Oh,
Glixnix
that means I'm next.
and Art comes over to you, and he looks again at. He gives you a parchment and piece of and a little writing utensil, and he goes, "Do you have the abilities? Can you draw what your portal looks like? Will you do that for him?"
I'll do my best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Will you roll me a let's do what sounds cool? Let's do performance.
As he's drawing it, I want to look over his shoulder and see if I can memorize that portal as well.
You should do a performance check
Oh, boy.
and an intelligence check,
Yes, there you go.
and then take the average of that number
There you go.
Oh, that's
Well-
actually pretty good.
to determine how accurate your portrait is.
Oh my god.
As he's drawing, I realize his drawing skills are
My goodness.
very bad.
Oh, I'm so
Stop
glad
looking
I
at him and
recorded this.
stare up at Prater and go, "Dude, I'm sorry, that's terrible."
Just muttering and just.
So yeah. Okay.
Here
So
you
we
go.
have
What kind of orifice is that?
it is the best
You might
that
wanna
Goblin
burn
can
that.
do, and Art.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal in Waterdeep.
Yeah. So Art is looking at it, and he looks at the goblin, and he, "Thank you, Glixnix. This shall come in handy." And Glixnix doesn't see that Art looks over at everybody and rolls his eyes in the back of his head. And Glixnix, he goes, but then he turns back to you and goes, "Are you ready to make your journey?"
Yes, but if this hurts, you hurt.
Well, it stings when he inscribes your arm. Now, while
Like-
they're doing that,
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it?
it's a 7 or 8. It stings. I don't know if you had tattoos, but I ain't getting them because I don't want that pain. So
Yeah, I
They're not
have
that
okay.
tattoos.
I figured you had tattoos, yeah. So I wasn't going to assume, but I figured you did. So it's a good,
so-
it's a nice little sting.
So you got a soft spot where it stings, and
You grimace a little
All right.
bit. He hits
My
a nerve,
turn?
maybe. You know.
just my turn. Slap him on the side of the leg, and as the hand makes contact, firebolt and walk away.
Okay, and it sizzles a little bit, and he hits you. He hits the last of it. You do that right after he finishes the brand the markings, and you jump through the portal right when you fling. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and the firebolt slams into Art, and he's son of a. And he's putting out his coat a little bit, and you've got a little fire he's dealing with. And
I chuckle. My little fire goblin.
And you could give me a perception check, Oksana, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
It's a nice roll. but you what you were sitting there and they were watching you, and Kat came up to you, and while you were watching, when Glixnix fired off this, it had your attention for a brief moment, and he touches you on the back and you fall asleep. Yes. And
Too reluctant.
yes, and yes, and so your world goes black for a brief moment, and then you have this haze and this pain on your arm, and you
Resistant to fire.
Yes, no, you find yourself looking up at a bright sky, and the other 7 companions are all staring at you because you're laying on the ground and face down, and you roll over, and y'all find yourselves on the other side of the portal, and you will see a little of this. Now, I think some of y'all know the map, but what you're going to see, I didn't really get to roofie her because she wasn't going to let me, so we just put you to sleep. So,
I thought about making you try to put Volmar to sleep.
Oh, you would have. Well, you were eating the food already, so you'd already been poisoned. I mean, drafted had you done. So
I'm immune to sleep.
She was the only one. You would have. You thought you would have been, but it wasn't magical sleep. You see.
What is that?
Y'all were roofied. You would have been roofied, you see, as Marwa and Alan would tell you. So, everybody, now, for those of you new or you haven't seen this, but you are finding yourself right here.
Oh, the tower's new on the map since last time I've seen it.
Yeah, I'll redone the map. Yep. So we're doing the map, and so you will find it on World Anvil. There is a new map that shows this. We'll also have pins that are on the map that basically are going to be laying out based on color, which I will put the color coding tomorrow night. I'm going to be working on that. Kind of tell you greens mean this, they're basically land encounters are going to be blue ones, which are going to be, I think we're getting ready to do a little lake encounter. So anything that's kind of done underwater is blue. When we have a player death, which you'll find out, y'all's new characters will be, that's Crenell. There'll be a red marker. Orange and yellows are going to be structures and things that have been found. What y'all see at the moment is this portal that is in the middle of some of these ruins. And there is a pathway that makes its way to the south out of this little vale area.
That's your message, Duff.
Volmar. Is that stone still there? Yeah, where is we'll address that in a second. There is a stone that says this way to the encampment or something. It's in World. Is it listed in World Amble? I don't think I've made it public. It is okay.
Vote for Cramrig.
Yeah, vote for Camrig. Yes, you're not sure what that means, but there is a pointer in the little map showing you that you need to walk south. And when y'all kind of make your way a little bit that way, you will see a good. No, well, actually, it's not. It's a little far away, but you can see smoke rising, and you hear some noise as some building. Something is happening in this area.
Is the when we look back at the portal, does it look the same as the side we came in from?
Yes, it does.
Exactly the same?
Yes, it does. The writings are the same. The portal may be off a little, maybe a different size, a different make of, it's different stone, different make, but the writing on the top of the portal is the same as the writing that was on the top of the one you went through.
And if I'm going to step to the side and I'm going to start like flapping my arms. Mm-hmm. Do I lift off the ground?
No.
So this world sucks as much as the other one.
Oh.
Hey, at least you've been branded.
Yeah.
And so what? And I will in Glixnix, when you threw the fire bolt, and turned around, you saw Praetor. He had this note in his hand. He kind of crumpled it up and threw it over his shoulder.
Oh, son of a bee! Can we get back through?
You want to try?
Well, I don't, but that guy might.
Well, that's Glixnix knows
I'm gonna,
that.
I'm gonna look at him and be like, man, are you gonna take that? Go get him.
Yeah, seriously.
Don't let him treat you like that. That was a completely adequate picture.
Oh, yeah. Wait, no, or is he the one that wrote like the love note?
No, Tumlock Tumlock gave Volmar. Sorry, not Tumlock. Volmar gave me a note, and Volmar. That is for you actually to RP out. I'm not going to ruin that as a note. So basically, and that's up to Glixnix if he wants to tell you what happened there. Probably should have told him off camera, but you can. I think that is now
Nick's wisdom of 8 wouldn't have
noticed. Yeah,
really?
wouldn't know. Volmar
Yeah.
Volmar's pretty certain what happened to the note too. Then, and he can now have some RP into what he wants to do. If the when he makes it back through the portal. Yeah.
Maybe that's where he puts all of his important documents. You don't know.
Oksana is not very happy that she got forced through the portal, so she's stomping around, snapping her fingers, creating fire, and looking for things to set ablaze. Oh, you did not! Fine.
Oh, I did. So, all right. So you have made your way through the portal. You can begin to make your way down to the encampment. You are now free individuals to begin to question and try to get a better understanding of what's going on here through the roleplay room that is on Discord. That is where in character you may begin to interact with people. I think all of you should have your character introductions on the community server, which I want to thank you for all doing that. I will put together, I'm going to go through your XML files here real quick and make sure everything's been coded right for at least those who have not had a first session. 2 of you already have. We let y'all kind of jump out of the gate a little bit early, but now you will get your first session in as quickly as possible. You will level up as soon as you get done with that first session to go to level 2. And then the rest of the leveling up is this. I'm going to fix the charts. I know that they're all a little still discombobulated on World Anvil. But your first session after you did that, it takes you up a level, and then you need to do 3 sessions to then get to 3rd level, and then 4 sessions to get to 4th, and then 5 on every 5 sessions you'll go up another level from there. So it'll take you some time.
So we're level 2 now?
No. You got to have your first session. This is a session 0. This is getting you through the portal.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, I understand.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
That's kind of why I wanted him to read the note to the stream. Because I worked so hard on that.
I know. You're going to have to RP it now, aren't you? Because Praetor doesn't divulge those things.
So here's my question.
Shoot.
The XP points. So you do 1, and then you get to level 2, and then that XP point goes away. And then to get to level 3, you need to do 3 more missions.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's basically by sessions. You're not really getting experience. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that it was you do 1, you get to level 2, you do 2 more, so you've done 3 total sessions.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's how I thought about it.
You're right. I'm sorry. Make sure it shows under the player advancement. Let me make sure I got that right. So, because I'm going to redo that. 1 session, you go to level 2. After your 3rd session, you will go to level 3. Right, and then 3 more sessions to 4, and then from there on out, it's every 5 sessions.
Every 5 sessions after that. Okay.
Yeah, I said that wrong. Thank you. And at the end of when you level up, you accumulate that much gold. So when you get your first level, after you'll have 75. When you get to level 3, you will then get an extra 150 on top of the 75 that you already have, or what if you've spent any. You don't get it every session. Okay.
Okay. So another question that I have. After playing a couple, and that's how the experience points are allocated. Mm-hmm. How do you reward an encounter that? Because there's like 4 different levels of encounters. There's the easy, the medium, the hard, and the deadly.
We don't.
So
we're not doing it that way. So
all the encounters should be the same level of difficulty.
Maybe.
Because if they're more difficult, then there's no additional reward for that? Is that how it works?
You have to basically survive in this land. So the question is yes. Now we've had that comment up. Well, I'll just sit in the back and not do any fighting, and I'll just do my sessions and level up that way and not do anything. And technically, you could do that. And you know what? That sucks on your part. To not.
Well,
be
yeah,
involved,
but then if that happens, then no one's going to want to group with you.
That's right.
That's how it would be in real life.
That's right. And there's Slagger there, and we would see that, and you'd probably get hit with something, and get taken out of the game. Oh, I would never do that, or would I? And so the question is, yes, the encounters will be pretty relatively level with who you are in the groups, because we're keeping it in a second level, third level. You can all venture together, but we're only going up to 5 right now for this first season. And so the encounters will be based on the overall part of the group, but we've already had one death. And so, it happened, they were rolling horribly, and Cornell did his,
Blaze of Glory.
Blaze of Glory is a special deal now. I'll type up, but basically you can Blaze of Glory out, and it's basically a feat that you can get when you're on death's door, but it will ensure that you die as soon as the fight is over. You will die. But you basically you're protecting you're basically going out with a Blaze of Glory and trying to protect the rest of your team from, certain death. And there are some rewards for doing it.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So one, you said we can have 2 characters
Mm-hmm.
In this role, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. Yep.
If we want to create a second character, do we have to go through the session 0?
No, you do not. No, we will just zump you through. Some of them are doing it. They wanted to do it with their character, but it's not required. Yeah.
Second question is, if a character dies, are we back to level 1 with the next character we create?
You are back to the new characters. If you're continuing playing them all, then you will just bring them on in. If you stay with one, we have I think Matt and I think we had a little extra oomph for you to re-roll the character and get back through. There's some extra there's some extra portal points or stuff like that just to give you, so that you can get rolling back in through. But we're still, the main purpose of this, one is we're trying to play a little bit closer to the vest. It is supposed to be a wild frontier. It is unknown. We will not, and we've been teasing it and all that, but we are not coddling. If you make a mistake, you will die.
Yeah, so we should expect that our characters, at one point or another, it's going to be that's going to be their fate, right?
It could very well.
Well, only the very few are actually going to make it through.
Well,
Go ahead.
With my character I already have on here, we went into a tomb, and it was looking like a big point of we were going to lose at least one person, but we all hunkered down, worked together, planned things out, and we managed to just barely pull through with it.
Yeah, one of the games I played, it was nearly a TPK.
If you pay attention to what the different missions are that are being ran, what your character's good at, who's doing what missions, you can go where you can still be useful, but where you're gonna have a higher chance of living.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, I'm in the one we're going in the lake because my other guy's a Triton, so that's his territory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Lyndon, Ruckus, you get out here. You check in with me later. I know there's my questions. I want to make sure that everybody that's new understands the platform still. And there's still a few things. Hit me. You see something you don't like or don't understand, hit me with it, because I want to know so we can get them answered. Because if you're asking the question, someone else is also asking the question. And I want to make sure they're answered before we really open this up and get more DMs involved. So,
okay.
Yep. But I hope you enjoyed it. So a little silliness tonight. Okay. All right. So
Yeah. So
what
far,
the
so
rest of
good,
it?
man. That was fun.
Yeah, it's fun. So like I said, I didn't think it was necessary to run a whole big. Oh, thank you. I appreciate the cheers. I didn't think it was necessary to run a big combat, and with this many, we would have done all that. And I wasn't, quite certain how the hell I'm going to get y'all all together as a group, And so, you went to jail. I was going to actually arrest all of you, but I said that wouldn't work, and so that, we had a little fun with that. But in this deal, we're trying to spread out, or like I have said, the Tuesday and Thursday sessions. Not that I'm picking on y'all, but it's kind of really I'm wanting to open up the middle of the week for me streaming some of these games. And like I said, we're trying to get another DM or two that can pick up some extra slack because we now got this is going to put us over 30 players
Nice.
in the session, along with some of y'all that are running 2 or 3 characters and all that. And so it's going to be a lot of people are in line saying, hey, we want to play. So that's why we're trying to get the DMs put together. But I'm running it, and we'll run one from time to time. Nick's going to be running his on Friday nights. He won't be streaming his. His is just basically on Fantasy Grounds. Then Jack, he's going to be Jackalogical. He is running Saturday. Then Matt's running his Sundays, and I'm trying to figure out when Keith and if Moondog, they're both really wanting, as long as they get comfortable with Fantasy Grounds, they can then put out when their kind of times to run games are, and then y'all can kind of move in and out of different groups. You can still try to play with each other's that you can, but there'll be sessions that some of y'all say, you'll tell us what you want to run, and then the other ones will say, here's what's going to happen, or here's what needs to be explored, and sign up for it. So there's going to be all different types of scenarios going on in this world. So plus you got to figure out what the hell you're doing here. So that's definitely true.
Yeah. It's again, Nick on his Friday ones, he typically does a player-driven where once he's kind of locked in who's playing about a day or two before, he'll like in his little sign-up thing, go to us all and kind of, all right, what do you guys want to do?
Yep, right. And make sure just like you did the signups today, we'll clean this room out, and then under game announcements is where we'll put when we're running a session. But if you have a mission request in the Discord server, there's that, because you're going to start seeing rumors, you're going to start seeing things that are happening in the community server that will tell you, hey, that sounds kind of cool. Why don't we go check this out? Or who wants to go with me and do this? And it's already starting to happen. And then the rest of it is go in there in the RP room and introduce yourself and start to interact with everybody, because they're getting ready they're actually starting to build the town center and the tavern. So there's stuff to be happening. So the more involved you give, the more fun you can. But we'll still have people that just want to play a game week to week, and that's fine. And they're more than welcome to play the game and have some fun. And they don't want to, they don't want to RP stuff. It's bad for them because they won't get as much excitement out of it. But we're not making it necessary. You don't have to do it.
Because you got some like Mar, Allen, Crom, Amalia, Kilgore. They're all week. I interact with them because they got something going all the time in the RP room.
Yep.
Kilgore right here.
Yeah. That RP room's going, I've muted it. I said, oh my God, I come in here and there's got 100 messages in it. What the hell? And
Understandable.
And also, like we said, we will not monitor that room. If you've got any questions, put them in the DM question room or in the community server, or put, more. If you're asking for stuff, there's the portal. There is the redemption room for your portal points and all that. You can put those requests there. But any of the RP stuff, we're letting y'all have fun with that and figuring all out that on y'all's own as far as interacting with each other between missions. So, any other questions?
Actually, did you actually read the note that I left? Because I just want to know. I just want to get your reaction as the DM.
Oh yeah, well, that's not a surprise. So that it's a threat is basically what he's written to me, that he's going to, that my life is over if once Volmar gets back. Now Volmar is now figured out that was true. And the rest of the group's going to go, oh, sucks to be you. Guess what? We knew that already also, when you get there.
Volmar's taking a vow of silence, so he's not.
Yeah, Volmar hasn't said a word. That's true. So I guess you'll have to, how you're going to RP that, the people will have to figure that out little by little.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe he'll end up breaking his vow of silence if he ever finds out that happened. Who knows? We'll see.
Gets to the camp, realizes that he is indeed stuck here, and just the first word he's uttered in years, just, I am going to kill him.
All right, have to take all. Good night. Night all.
It's fun.
Hey, darling. Yeah, so that's it then? We're good to go?
Yep.
Yep, you're good to go to sign up for an adventure.
All right.
All right, or play in the roleplay room.
Right
Yep.
now,
As long as you can see it. I'm not sure if everybody can see it or not.
Yeah, I can see it. The text room.
Okay.
It has gotten so ridiculous.
It gets intense. There was even a fist fight between Kilgore and Crom.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So what's the rolling game room? Is that where you just like go in and roll?
Dice
Your-
for like the text adventures.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you're asked to roll, even for like the downtime activities, if there's some
The
rolling that
roleplay
is
room?
involved. There's actually downtime activities you can do with your portal points.
Oh, where?
That's all on World Anvil, what you can do. But you also have to have certain parts of the town built before you can do some.
Oh,
But-
okay.
If
Like-
you're doing something that requires you to roll, and it's something that doesn't require you to boot up Fantasy Grounds, they'll have you roll it in the rolling lobby.
Oh, okay.
Technical difficulties. Oh man, y'all there? Let me see.
I think
Okay,
that happens.
am I back? Oh my god.
Did
Okay,
you
I've,
leave?
Every time you
I've been talking
Muted
this whole time.
Oh,
No.
completely left the
And so probably the stream didn't hear shit for 5 minutes. I'm sitting there talking, and I'm like,
Oh,
why
no,
is
we
everyone
were
talking to
talking.
me, man. Oh, I kicked my cable. I pulled my cable out of my mic, and I'm like, why? Those bastards are just ignoring me. So
I saw where you jumped in right after Alan and Amalia's little exchange.
Yeah.
Just
So-
kind of, what happened?
yeah, you may have missed it, but make sure. So yeah, the rolling room. Amai runs the text base. She's got a text based adventure. She'll run from time to time, and when she needs a dice roll, you'll do it there. But then Nick sometimes will do it, or if you need to do some type of downtime activity, instead of firing up Fantasy Grounds, we'll have it done. We'll go to that room and we'll say roll this from time to time, and we'll figure out some stuff in between sessions. That's what that's all for. So
Okay.
other than that, any other questions y'all ask? But we'll call it a night here. I want to appreciate everybody watching and playing. That was fun. A big group of RPing. We try to do as much as possible there. We as much RP as we can with this, plus the combat. But we're trying to make this as much character driven as possible. It's difficult because we have so many characters. But we hopefully will have an even play of both some adventuring, some puzzles and things, and things you got to figure out why you're here, plus then all this interaction with all these different types of characters and races and things like that. Should be kind of fun. So
What do you want to do about that book that I absconded with?
I'll you'll have a book here shortly, trust me. I have
Book
I
of
didn't,
Ogre
say
Summon.
I didn't say I was going to read it. I just said I was going to take it.
trust me.
It's going to be a book of ogre summoning.
And I will toss it in the fire.
It was actually going to be something close to that. Yes, everything you wanted to know about an ogre, and we're afraid to ask. Okay.
But I get to keep the silver I took, right?
Yes, you can go show that the first person you want to go talk to is Alan Whitty. Okay, he will get a giggle sniggles out of it in the group about the extra silverware you have brought over now. So Prador is very upset now. He's lost now even more family heirlooms to you.
Sparkly twinkling mitre takes them from you.
Yeah,
There's no might about it.
yeah, yeah.
Just look at this.
as
Sparkly's
long as
got
it's shiny.
That's right. All right, folks. I'm going to cut the stream here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll see everybody those who are playing in the next game tomorrow night, and then I'll see you ladies Saturday night for Force Majeure. All right?
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank
We'll
you.
see y'all later. Thanks.
Night, Duff.
Night. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. We'll call it the night. And yes, we have Goblin. A new Goblin's come through, so we're going to be interested to see what happens with the Goblin and the captured goblins that are here. But anyway, I'm going to call it a night. We'll see everybody Saturday for the latest of Force Majeure. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.